Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us at this technical issues here. So that's why we are a little bit behind a schedule. For today's Digivation Live session, we are taking a look at digital platforms different from gain time. They are smartphones, tablets. Parenting has evolved and at the same time has become more challenging which friends they are chatting with. Concerns have been raised really as to how this has affected the family life in recent times.
I can't hear you.
It's freezing up.
Can you
And
hear
still
me
have
now?
that parental bond, being able to still, have that moral
I'm actually struggling to hear you, Moji.
Yeah.
If you can hear me.
into the Bolariwa. Welcome to Digivation Live session.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Moji. Good morning, um, Baby Salah.
Yeah. Good morning, Adela. Uh, I think monkeys
Yes.
have been a mess of it.
Yes. Because I struggled, to follow a bit of what you're
Yeah. What
saying.
everything you're
So
saying.
if you could take that again, Moji, we would be glad. Ooh, I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
Little bit of technical in there.
Yeah.
Hello, Moji. Are you back?
Network is playing a little bit of games on us.
Yep.
Hello. Good morning. Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the mix now. Sorry about
simple, relatable messages that connect people to purpose and performance. Quite passionate, using communication as a level for culture, clarity, and alignment, helping organizations bring their values and vision to life through the way they engage, lead, and communicate. He is married with children. Mr. Adiola, thank you for joining us. Second person, Ade Bolarinwa. She's a tested, experienced, and satisfied project manager with 10 years, over 10 years of experience owning all stages of project lifecycle from inception, analysis, configuration, testing, training, closure, and post go live. She has relevant experience as a program director through different full implementation life cycles, including various Oracle Financials HCM implementation projects for public sector clients. She has successfully managed and delivered various IT projects for the public sector. She is married with children. Madam Bemisola, thank you for
Yes,
joining us on
yeah, good
DGB
morning, Muji, and good morning,
Action
Muji, and
Live.
everybody.
Now let's get down to the business scenes. And my first question to the two of you is: it's too early for Nigerian children to start using smartphones, for them to have a reasonable screen time to engage at home. Um, Madam Bemisola first.
Yeah, okay. So, hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, the question is, what is the appropriate time for Nigerian children to start using screen time? For me, I would say that we need to be very, very intentional about screen time with our children these days, because everything we do now is everything is on digital. So we have to be able to control when and how this our children use the screen time. So let's go according to the study of WHO. We're being told that children from children under age 18 months, there should be no screen time for them at all, except for video calls. Because why did they say this? When you engage children under 18 months with screen time with no
Hmm.
phone, one,
Okay.
it disrupts their brain development. It disrupts their sleep pattern when they are supposed to sleep. Maybe they'll be struggling to watch the phone, to watch the nursery rhyme. No, it takes away so much attention for their development. Also, between age 18 to 24 months, it is still early. We need to just give them limited time, very limited time for them to be on the screen, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. And we have to also co-viewing with them. We need to know what they are watching, censor what they are looking at. Then between age 2 to 5, most of us parents, we thought at this age they are very playful restless. We always use this phone to keep them calm or to keep them quiet or give them the phone not to disturb us. But we are doing them a disservice. At the age of 18 to 85, they are supposed at least maybe just minimum of 1 hour a day, to know not to make them to be so much engrossed with phone. We have to create this time for them. We have to really help them, supervise them, let them know that smartphone or tablets is not what they need at this stage. Just to keep them busy. Let them be able to learn as much as possible they can learn on it. It's just like 1 hour, between 1 hour a day. And we also have to be coherent with them because adults guidance is very important at this age. Between age 6 to 9 is moderate. It may be between 1 or 2 hours a day, including games, but all this we still have to review with them. There should be no time that we leave these children in a digital space without parental guidance. We need to also set the screen time rules for them. We need to also set that boundary for them. So there's at any time we want to allow our children online, we have to be able to set boundaries for them, set the rules, set time for them. Even when you have a child from age 10 to 13, at least maximum time per day is supposed to be 2 to 3 hours, including their schoolwork on the phone or on the tablet. So for any child to be have total freedom on screen time should be about 18 and above, 18 years old and above. But below that, we have to be able to control the time they spend on phone. The time we have to be able to monitor, strong monitoring on what they do on the phone. I hope that answered the question. Hello.
Thank you very much for your response on that, those time ages that they need to have access to screen time, and for those tips is well appreciated. Mr. Adiola, how early is too early for them to have access to screen time, and what is the responsible screen time that they should actually
Okay, Muji, thank you. I think Demisala has done justice to the question, and clearly she comes across as a very strong subject matter expert on this particular topic. I agree with everything she has said about, the different ages and times. But I would like to flip it the other way and, tell a story that we are all familiar with. We are all pretty much adults when mobile phones became a thing. I was, I was in my, I think, late 20s at that point in time. I'm not a child, I'm not a kid. And I have colleagues, associates, family members as well who were no longer teenagers at that particular point in time. But one thing is clear that even for the adults that we were and the adults that we are now, phones and tablets have actually damaged productivity, has damaged, focus, and has also created new addictions, new habits that are not positive. So, if devices can have that impact on adults, it is clear what the impact will be on children, on babies. And we also know that, you see, the smartphones and tablets are not the problem in themselves. It is actually the social networks and the different apps that are on those devices for use that can be problematic. So the algorithm of some of these platforms are set up in a way that before you know it, you're still scrolling for 4 hours. So beyond screen time addiction, there is also uninhibited access to content that are not suitable, for children. Some of them for babies, and some of them for teenagers, and even for adults that we are. So those are the real issues. And aligning with what Demisola has said, one approach that could actually edge against some of this problem and challenges would be to use to make sure that if your children are going to use YouTube at all for a limited time in alignment with their age and the recommended WHO standard, you make sure that they are not doing the traditional YouTube. They are on YouTube for Kids to see any content that they want to watch. Clearly, YouTube for Kids is safe. And even for the applications that they are going to use, Google and a lot of other platforms, make sure to activate safe search so that it won't bring out things that are not age appropriate for them. And to also make sure you keep a tab on how much time they spend on those devices. One can use Apple Screen Time, solution within the setting to limit the screen time maybe to 45 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour. I've done that with the kids in time past. And what it does is it shuts them down. It locks them out of any of the applications on the device. Family Link is actually stronger for children that are possibly in their teens. It's good, it's appropriate for younger children, but children that are in their teens, they find a way around, all the controls you want to set. They've even learned to clear their search and use history. But with, Google Family Link, you can actually track what they are doing and you can limit their screen time. And you can do the same. Microsoft also has the same solution. So those are my thoughts around, responsible screen time for children and young adults.
Okay. Before you go, let me go to the next question so that we start from you. In a world where everything is digital right now, how do we preserve playtime, social skills, morals, and most importantly, cultural values? How do we, preserve this with all this that is actually going around?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mojisola. I will start with Bimisola's opening statement, which says that we have to be intentional. And so if I take the summary of everything that you loaded into this question, playtime, social skills, morals, and cultural values. The hack around all of this is to be intentional about routines. You have clear rules about, TV, clear rules about using digital devices, clear rules about, when you wake up, what you do when you wake up,
Mm.
how you have lunch, breakfast, and dinner, and how intentional you are also about visiting, how intentional you are about, exercising, about play, and all of that. And I will use a very good example. So I have two teenagers, and to a certain extent, they want to do any and everything to get on a device or to watch TV. But one of the things we've been able to do a little bit of walk around when they are in for the holidays is that in the morning they have swimming class. After swimming class, basketball, so they get to play basketball. So these are like set routines. Then online class, maybe around art, book review, do this, we discuss when I come back. So to a certain extent, that you know makes sure that even when we leave, that ensures that even when we leave the house in the morning for work, they are somewhere with peers, with people of their age, swimming and training. After that, they possibly do basketball or some other sport. Then their mom is intentional about, oh, it's midweek service, no matter how late it is, even if it's almost 10 minutes before that service ends, she would get them, to do it. Then we are also intentional about, social relationships, visiting. So their friends come over, take them over to their friends, we visit family, we engage. So we make sure that we do not live in a social media bubble. So real interaction, real engagement, they rotate chores, take care of the dogs, engage with them. So to a certain extent, that is, how we have been able to, you know, manage the struggle to keep things balanced in a very digital world.
Thank you very much for that submission. Being intentional and to be able to balance. Again, I want to find out from Baby Sola, what is your submission on this particular side of things?
Okay, so thank you so much, Mojisola again. And I really appreciate Adiola for his good input. He said we should not live in the digital bubbles. I so much agree with that. As parents, we really need to get involved in our children activities. I have twins, they are 5 years old. When they are 2 weeks old, I started playing nursery rhyme for them, to keep them, twins, they make a lot of, trouble then. So the nursery rhyme, they listen to it, so they were so used to it that even if the nursery rhyme stopped playing, they will be crying. So when they were about 1 year old, we were able to hold phone. Before they are two, they are even they've known my password. They can go to YouTube things by themselves to bring that in. But when they are 3 years old, says they're so much engrossed with their tablets. Then I know that there's something wrong. That I really need to work on it. So then we started setting I started setting standards for them. So about when they're three, I will tell them, okay, 1 hour per day. That's where we start. They will cry when they finish that 1 hour. They start crying, oh, mommy, want the tablet, want the tablet. I said, no, 1 hour per day. Then go to your toys. So I will do, they go to their toys, they play with their toys, they play with each other, we play with them. So we have said, I kept entire setting the standards for them like that. So when they are 4 years old, I reduced, so I took out tablets during the week. No during the week tablets for them. I told them when you're going to school, you don't occupy yourself with tablets. The only thing you need is when you come back from school, do your assignments and go and play. So I restricted that tablet time to weekends and just 1 hour. This time that they were 5 years old, and immediately they resumed, we had the meet. I sat with them and I told them that during this time of school time, there's no tablet at all until you're on holiday. I explained to them that when you are using tablets, you occupy your mind so much with what you are watching on your tablets, on your YouTube channels. So they understand. So they didn't even bother to ask for the tablet throughout this time of their school time. They don't ask for it. But what I do is that I encourage them to do lots of outdoor games. In weekends, let's go outside, let's do a race, run, I will run. So that's like a parents have to be involved. We don't need to be too busy for our children. If you are too busy, they will find their comfort in another place, which is their screen time. And this is what we don't want. We don't want their tablet, their phone to take away everything from them. To the fact that I even bought chess, I don't know how to play chess because of that I have to go and learn. I bought chess. So when we are both say, oh, sit down, let's play chess. I sat down on the phone with them with the chess. I bought Scrabble. We are playing Scrabble together. With all this, it's even helping them to even learn more. Even with Scrabble, it helps them to learn their spellings, to learn how to mash their words together and things like that. Now I even bought Monopoly to that. Okay, now it's financial management that we are going to look at with use of the Monopoly. So these are the things that if your parents are so much involved in children activities, they will spend less time on their phone. It won't be like in the case that, oh, that is on the laptop, mommy is on the phone. Definitely, where would the children be? They will be with their own tablets. And so there will be no family time, there will be no discussion. So that we need to just be very, very intentional about how we train up our children at the digital space. We are parents that are born before, we are BBT, born before technology. We have said, but they are children. They are born in the digital space. But we need to learn how to keep them safe. We need to learn how to protect them. We need to be very, very intentional about how we train them in the digital space. We need to to set up this standard for them. When you create a standard for your child, they will not go away from it. That's how, and we're talking about the cultural values too, our moral values. As a child, we need to teach them how to use their nice words. What are these nice words? Please, thank you, sorry, excuse me, pardon me. If my son or my daughter wants anything and she doesn't, oh mommy, can I have this? I will say, where's the nice word? You understand what I meant, and I understand what I'm requesting for. We can't just say, mommy, I want this. Where's a nice word? Can you use the word please? Or if you do anything that is not no that no is wrong, and you find it so difficult to say sorry, that should be consequence. If you know you are wrong, you should be able to say sorry immediately. So we need to teach them how to use this in nice ways. So that's why you said that setting standards from when they are young, it will help them till they grow up. Even when they are 18, that they have to take control of the digital space. They will even know what they are supposed to do on that digital space. They will know what to do and will know what to do because already they know what you want them to be. You have already molded them to be, to the form that you want them to be in digital space. Because this should be, you can't just leave them. There are so many things. Digital space is so wide. So we need to guide them. We need to help them. We need to mold them to fit in into the digital space. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that submission. I get what parents, if parents are carried away, us remaining, the children will find comfort in the screen time. And you also mentioned that those physical activities, getting involved with them in some of their activities, we also encourage them not to cling to their screen time. Thank you very much for having more and more of it here in Nigeria, even though our tradition, our culture is more of a very grounded one. I want to find out from you guys, is excessive screen time contributing to anxiety, isolation, or low self-esteem among Nigerian youths? As the case may be that we are having today, it's really, really baffling. It's response first on this.
Okay, can I go first? Okay, I take that as a
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so I am not a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist. I will therefore lean on anecdotal evidence that is out there from reports that I've read and from contributions that are online to say, yes, appealing to those authorities or medical professionals that have made that kind of definitive and conclusive assertion based on studies. From my limited view, as a human, who observes and can see what is, going on around us, it is, very clear that when children or humans are isolated, either by, through physical confinement or digital confinement tied to excessive screen time, the outcomes will be the same for someone who has been isolated from civilization or from other people punitively, by being kept in a room or a dungeon or a basement. So the same way excessive screen time in prisons and would possibly create, social awkwardness. So beyond creating social awkwardness, people that are not properly socialized, I also know that, excessive screen time can also affect, the eyes, and it can actually damage it. It can damage vision. It can lead to visual impairment. Then there is also the bit about irregular sleep, and I'm sure a number of people will be familiar with this. So there are times we possibly spend excessive time watching maybe a TV series or working behind a computer, which is even something productive. Possibly we bring back work home, and after spending about 8 to 10 hours of screen time at work, because we have a deadline, we get home and we are still at it possibly until the early hours of the day. We all know that it affects our sleep pattern, reading, and it can lead to a lot of other things like back pain, um, you know, spine pain, and all of that. So I would stop at that and say that, excessive screen time has implication on our social capabilities and our health. Thank you.
Oh,
So
wow,
thank you.
thank
Let me
you for
take it.
that
Uh,
submission right there. It's really well appreciated. Bemisola, any thoughts?
okay, so let me take it from there. Definitely, excessive screen time it causes isolation, it causes anxiety, and also it also leads to this depression.
Hmm.
Because when a child spends too much time on the screen, it will reduce face-to-face interaction. Now, a lot of our children, our youth, our teenagers, they shout more than talking. Even if they're even talking to them, you're stressing them. But they spend so much time on their phone. And what are they doing? Chatting. They spend more time doing gaming. They play game on their phone instead of doing actual play. So they even spend more time with their phone, even at home, instead of family time. Some even spend time during meal time. They're on their phone and they're elsewhere eating. So it reduces family interaction. When it's time for them to talk to their parents, their mom, their dad, they're on their phone. Doing what? And all this, it reduces social bonding, it reduces their emotional intelligence, it also reduces, it causes life conflicts because they are so much in their own space that they can't interact with other people out there. I'll give you an example. Sometimes last year, I think this year, I traveled with my children to visit a friend. And this my friend only has it. He has a son, but because in UK they don't really have time to work. The father works in the morning, the mother works at night. So the boy was just left alone to himself, to his tablet, either his tablet or TV. No outdoor game, they don't take him out, don't go. But when we came visiting, this boy struggled so much to accommodate my children. What do I mean? It's like we came to invaded him in his space. He struggled so much that he can't even interact with them. No, we were from Nigeria. We used to go out. We do okay. Let's go for swimming. We go for swimming class. We go for music class. We go out to eat. But this boy was practically denied for all what I gave my children. If any one of my child wants to touch his toy, he's like, "Oh, don't touch my touch, don't touch my tablet, leave my room, don't touch my TV." No, it was like, "Go away! I don't want to see you. Why are you here?" Because he has not. He has not. The same people. He doesn't go out to play with anybody. He's just on his own. And I told my friend that this is danger, that this that you are doing to your son is danger. Because there's so much confiding that he's just only in, that he doesn't want to see any other person. So anybody that comes to their house, they are inviting into his privacy, he doesn't want to see them. He was so aggressive, was not friendly. I was like, oh, this is not so good. So that period that we spent, I said, well, this one, you have to find a way to
That's
take this boy
serious.
out of the cage you have put in. You have to take him out. So I thought, I said, I told my father, you have to create time for him. You have to create time to talk, to take him out, take him to parks, let him be seeing people. You don't take him to church. You always, come back from school, stay at home, come back from school, stay at home. This like very soon, he's not even be talking to his parents anymore because he is always on his phone. So that is what screen time can cause to any child that's so addicted to it. So it's something that we just have to look into. We just have to know that we need, as a parent, that we don't need our children to be on their own on that screen time. See, let me tell you, the problem is not the technology. The problem is lack of balance and lack of guidance by parents. So this is what we have to be very, very intentional about. We have to be able to balance it. We have to be able to set the time, set a rule, set a standard. This is the time you spend on the screen with your phone. This is the time you need to go outside to go and talk to people. There should be balance. Life is about being balanced. If it's not balanced, that's going to be a problem. So thank you.
The problem
Mm,
even me, I didn't know they were there. So like you said, the parents, we individuals, adults, really, let me put it that way, we need to be very present. In fact, we are battling things right now, not only technology, like you said, not once, not twice, being intentional, trying to connect us, trying to make ends meet. So, how do you think single parents or busy working parents can actually manage digital supervision effectively? Because a lot of people don't even understand all these things. So, do we need to understand them first before we can supervise? Or how do you think we can manage this digital supervision? Let me get Mr. Adiola Adejokun's response first on this.
yeah, muted.
The number one approach for me is setting very clear rules. And if I act back to what Bemisala said earlier about no device during school time for the children, it's about the best approach. So they know that during the term, no access to device. So what that does is that it keeps them clean and it ensures that they are not addicted to devices. And I can tell you that my two teenagers are also held, to the same standards. The only time they use their device is for work, class work, school work. That's what they use their devices for, their laptops, during the school term. Then the other thing is to leverage the power of technology itself beyond setting rules and boundaries and saying, you can only use your devices during the holidays. And even during the holidays, you have to set a routine. They do this in the morning, they do that midday, they did this early afternoon, late night, such that device use is limited. But the best way to tackle this is to use technology to also manage the entire process. And you would remember that I spoke about screen time. Quite a number of phones come with screen time or devices. You can set it. But you can now use a solution like Family Link by Google. You register the laptop or the phone on Family Link by Google, and using that particular solution, you can set the time, how long they can use each application on the phone or tablet for. So, and I remember that. And I remember that when I do this, if they are doing something really, really important, they will come back and said, please, can you give me 25 more minutes today on this particular solution, because we are watching a documentary or and watching, something related to schoolwork on YouTube, a lesson or class that has been recorded and uploaded by subject matter in that particular space. So clear rules about no device during school time, and even at that, setting up, technology to actually track, to monitor, and limit how long they access the internet.
Thank you very much for that. Those tips, those strategies that you have shared with us. Gbemisola in there. So can we?
Okay, so as busy parents or single parents, so what my take is, I'm also a busy parent, but I still create time because I know if I get it wrong at the age they are, we will need to struggle to get it right in the long run. So this is where I keep emphasizing that boundary comes to play. If from the beginning, a parent has let your child know their boundary in distance space, even when you are not around, you will respect it. There's a saying that said that don't prepare the road for your child, prepare the child for the road. What do I mean by that? Because you will not always be there for your child to be clearing the road for the child at all time. But if you already prepare your child for the road, wherever they find themselves, they'll be able to fit in. You have already set your standard or your boundary that during school time, no screen time. Even when you are not at home, your child will respect that. They will not go and get the phone or the tablet to start using it because you are not around. Because you have already laid that rule down. That during your school days, no phone, no tablets. The only time my children goes on my laptop or anything is when they want to go into their Google Classroom. Because they do use Google Classroom. And when they come back from school after their homework, they must at least go to their Google Classroom and spend 1 hour there to revise, do the revision, everything they have been taught in school. for that day. So they know that it's a part of their routine and it's part of the boundary that I've always set for them. As young as they are and as much as they are, they know that they must go on that go classroom. Even if I'm not at home, they will ask somebody, can you please help us to get a little classroom? We want to redo it. So they will do it. They have some educational games that they do to play, especially for their numeracy, literacy. They do their games and they don't go beyond it. I've already told them no YouTube during the school time and they can't go on it. Even when they have their tablets, this already stick them to their YouTube kids. No adult YouTube. I've told them you can't go on adult YouTube. So that even if you are not at home, they will you are be hearing mommy said no adult YouTube. If one of them wants to go on adult YouTube, the second one will be reporting. Oh mommy is going on adult YouTube. Immediately there should be consequence. For you to even go away from my instruction, consequence that should be will be definitely be consequence. You are going to adult YouTube, then no more tablet for you for that day. That is it. So we need to prepare these children, even if we are not around, let them be able to know what to want and what to don't want. Because this space is so wide. If you allow them to go in there, so many things can happen to them. God forbid. So that's why we just need to guide our children so well. Let them know what they can do and what they cannot do. On this. Let them have this standard. Another have said that we can use technology to set the rules. We can, but there are some smart kids that can go beyond the technology. Know that now password is like I just said. When you do password, they are watching you. You don't even know that they are watching behind. Before you go, they have already cracked your password and going. But if you have that standard, if you have that boundary, oh, you want to use my phone, this is what you can do on my phone. You can't go beyond this, and they have to respect it. So that is what I will encourage civil parents to do. Civil parents or busy parents, we just have to send that boundary to them for their children, even when they are around or when they are not around, they can do. My children know that they can't touch anybody's phone. They can't use anybody's phone. Even when I'm not around, I'm in church, any adult come home to visit us, they can't touch their phone. It is our rule. It is my rule. You can't touch nobody's phone. If you want to use my phone, you must take my permission. It's like that, some of our daddies, children can't play with their phone. So how do they do that? Like my husband, my children, and say, daddy's phone, don't touch it. It's no go area for them. So how do they do that? So mommy's phone is, oh, they even know my password, but there's some certain thing they can do, and they cannot do on my phone. So that's what I need to do. What, what my stake about it. Thank you. And
Submission and
emoji.
those tips, they are very, very insightful. Thank you very much. Um, the two of you emphasized on two things and control. Now, talking about control, we know, I think TikTok, buttons and pages on their various platforms. But come back down to the two of you. What policy frameworks or child protection laws does Nigeria need for this screen age time so that we'll be able to cope with all these dramatic changes and all these
Hello, Moji.
And
So,
network is
okay,
really bad.
I will take that, and I will say that Nigeria is a signatory to a lot of Nigeria is a signatory to a lot of conventions that protect children, and some of these conventions, cover online protection, age appropriate design for content, and possibly digital literacy in the school curriculum, then transparency around data collection, advertising targeting children, and what should be the case. But clearly, like most parents, a lot of us are acutely unaware of these policies. We do not know that they exist, because I can assure you that a lot of people are not even aware of, the agency in charge of privacy policy in
Mm.
Nigeria, and what they've been doing to make sure that corporations align with best in class practice, and they do not just get careless with people's personal and private information. So maybe people who work at the intersection of data and customer interaction will be aware of those policies, because they are sanctionable and the organizations are being forced to train them. So when you now take the same thing to the space where we have our children, it is likely that these policy frameworks are there and we are not just aware of it. And I think advocacy on the part of government, on the part of maybe agencies like NITDA or National Orientation Agency, so that parents are even, consciously educated about how to parent in this particular age. And by parents, I mean the gentleman possibly in Paiko in Niger State, as well as Mubi in Adamawa, Maga or Baga, or somewhere close to the border in Benin Republic, whether literate or illiterate, so that as a nation, the critical mass of the people are able to, parent right, because they understand the dangers that these policies are trying to protect us from. Because it's a very complex world, it is new to most parents, and the big tech companies, they put all their terms, they make sure it is very long or in small fine print, so that people just accept, without reading. And they want people
Mhm.
to be online the time. They want us to have more screen time, because that is how they profit. And the role of government is actually to protect people, especially the most vulnerable, from such exploitation. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Advocacy from they are in business because they want to make profit, but then again, one need to be very careful not to be part of those things they make you make a profit. Okay, I want to find out from.
Okay, so before we even get the government to do this framework for us, let's let's talk about ourselves as parents. What are we doing on this aspect? What exactly? What's no, no, we have a lot of parents now. A lot different kind of parenting. A lot of some of the parents practically sleep on TikTok. So what do you expect your child to do? Some people they practically, spend every little time they have on Facebook or on Instagram. So what kind of policy are you setting for your children? So the most effective framework of policy or standard is by parents first. So let's start from the parents before we now move out. Because whatever you are doing, you need to set a good standard for your child, and that is what your children will follow you in the digital space. Our footprint on digital space is our children roadmap on digital space. So that's why I say we need, as parents, what exactly are you doing? Your children are, you are the model to your child on digital space. So then we now move to government. When government come framework, there will be advocacy. The way they do advocacy on bullying in schools, they can also do the same for cyberbullying too. They can also do the same on online ethics. They can also do the same on cybersecurity basics for these children, not from school. So they will know how they will be safe on the digital space, and and they will also be able to guide their digital footprints if they are aware of what they can do and what they cannot do. So that's the points I want to give up from there. Thank you.
children while guiding them to develop healthy screen habits in a digital world? Just brief.
Alamuji, I didn't get that. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. One of the participants shared a question. Um,
Okay. Okay, so I can see the question on the screen. So how can parents handle stubborn children while guiding them to develop healthy screen habits in this world? Okay,
she
so thank you. So
said,
if
I
it
have
yeah,
this concern.
okay. Okay, so it depends. So how old is this child that we are talking about? Then how does this child develop this stubborn habits at this period? Because initially, if you have already set a standard from the beginning, because Bible says, train up a child in a way that you go, that when they grow up, they will not depart from it. So, what standard have you put in place regarding this? the digital world, in digital space. You have a rules in your house that says you can't do this at this time. You can't do this at this time. No, we have let me say something about our zone. No, we have two zones. You should be able to have some zones in your house. It's part of your rules. So we should have safe zones and risk zone. The safe zone is the sitting room, the dining room, the study room, where any adult can easily walk through and can look at the phone screen to see what the child is doing. And you should also know your risk zone at the bedroom, the bathroom, the isolated corners. That should be a standard. That in the bedroom, no phone in the bedroom. Bedroom is where you go in and sleep. Bedroom is not a place where you should go in with your phone. Because for me, my child cannot take a phone to where I cannot see the screen. I must be able to peep and look at the screen, even when the child is not when I'm even looking, to be able to send to know what the child is looking. So, what kind of food have you set up in your house before? No, because if you don't have this rule, there's no way you can control them. You should be able to set a school standard. You tell your child during school hour, no phone. And if you want to use your phone, it's mainly for assignments. And if your child did not obey you, what is the consequence? How to control that? Okay, you tell your child don't use phone during school hour, and your child uses a phone. What do you do? Do you just say, "Oh, but I said not to use that phone"? Is it that you say, "Oh, because you disobey my instruction, therefore the entire week there's no phone"? Or is it because you just say, take it, leave it that okay? I said don't use this phone, and you're using it. I said, "Oh, sorry, mommy," and you give back the phone. So you have to put your foot down. But in the digital space, it's so scary what we are experiencing now. And and we have as a parent, we have to be very, very firm in training our child in this digital space. If you don't guide them appropriately in this digital space, they can, I pray that life is not being damaged, in the digital space because we have cyberbullying, we have peer pressure, we have online strangers that can even take over their life. We have so many things. Even AI is in place now. That so if you don't control your child, if you don't prepare your child so well, give this that space. Because even when you are not around, you'll be very comfortable that I trust this boy. He can't do what I know. When I'm around, this is what they can do. When I'm not around, this is what they can do. You should be able to say that to your child when you have your own boundary and set your rules within the house. So that's just one thing that you need to train these children so well, set your standards so well for them. Because if you don't set the standard, you will go beyond it and not be able to control it. Thank you.
Any to what she said with respect to participants' question?
So I will say that I will reiterate, setting very clear roles and boundaries and expectations. But most importantly, role model the behavior,
Yeah.
that you desire in the child. So, so children learn by, copying what they see. So you can't tell them one thing and consistently do the other, and you expect them to swear by every word that comes out of your mouth. So I would say set clear boundaries, rules, and expectations, and be a good role model.
Thank you very much for your time, for your submission, for the tips. It's been very, very educative. I've learned quite a number of things as well. And I know the participants and the viewers too have learned to. Most especially, you need to be intentional with discipline on the use of, these devices, on the use of equip ourselves with knowledge on how some of these things work, so that, and also to be very firm with them in with the children. Gbemisola Kayode Bolariwa, and also Mr. Adeola Adejoku. Even discipline the younger ones, and also they emphasize on how parenting can still,